Welcome to my show. I am a guest here. Her name is Diane Randall. Diane, how you doing, ma?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much, ma. Firstly, I want to go to your background. You are an author. You are also a world living consultant, wellness expert. You're also a college instructor, professional speaker, host of the Plant Based Curious podcast. That's the name of the podcast. Please,
Yes.
ma, can you walk us through your journey, the challenges you had, setback issues, and why you decided to choose this path in life?
Oh, wow. What interesting questions. I always say I didn't choose this path, it chose me. When I think back as a young um, 20-year-old who had a sister that was murdered, that set me on a long path of, I would say, maybe depression. And in that state of mind, I started wondering, you know, can I be happy? What can I do to get out of this sustained feeling of sadness, which is really what I think it was. So fast forward, I started reading books. Didn't know a whole lot of self help people at the time. There was no internet, to go and look things up. But one thing led to another. I started going to lectures and listening to authors with good self help books that resonated. And I found myself feeling better. However, one thing I noticed was as I grew older and started having like health concerns, not only did I have emotional and mental issues, I also had physical issues from, my diet and eating and the stress of just living life. So again, I looked to research and thinking about, okay, what do I need to live? Because one thing, I was blessed with a career that I really loved, and that at the time, technology. I was in technology, and it really sustained me. Uh, I would say it sustained me from a living e- e- from a living point of view, but what I recognized was I still had those issues when I was younger with the depression that was still following me around. And I really, really, really wanted to feel better. So I continued to explore, to look at programs. For example, I went to a coaching program, not to become a coach, but just to listen and try to learn how can I open myself up emotionally and mentally to feel better. And I started feeling lighter from that. Then I went to nutrition school, and that helped me basically learn how to eat. But it was a process from being young to even to this day to evolve into the plant-based vegan person that I am. So uh, this has gone on for over 25 years. And I always didn't know that wellness and holistic health was what I was going to do. I was just trying to feel better in my life, being a divorced mom with two kids, trying to relieve stress. So when I started opening up to it, it was just right there with me. And people, when I started feeling better, people would ask me, "What are you doing?" You seem calmer, you don't seem as stressed out as you were. So when I shared what I was doing, people became interested, and that also inspired me to keep things going. So I just started evolving and just practicing things that I learned: yoga, meditation, mindfulness, holistic health, self care, physical health, and movement. So, with all that, it was just a practice. It was just evolving and helping really one person at a time and teach and through teaching classes. That really helped me. And at the time, I would coach people. But what I can say is today, I teach a lot because I wanted to open my platform up to more people from an education standpoint, because I feel that that's what we need. We need to learn and educate ourselves on how to live our lives from a mental, spiritual, and physical point of view. And what brings us happiness is also exploring those kind of things as well.
All right, Ma. Thank you so much, Ma. And I want you to also discuss more on your book. That is Jumpstart Your Life and a Whole Life Nourished. Can you discuss more about that book now?
Yes, the first book I wrote was called Jumpstart Your Life. Okay, just finding ways to uh, create the life that you want. And in that book, it started out as a class that I taught for 10 years. And basically, I walk people through uh, how can they create the life they want. It started with just identifying what do you really want when you look at your life? What do you really want? Identifying two areas of your life that you want to improve, and taking that and creating affirmations, of what that life would look like, writing down and journaling. What would that life look like? Who would you be? What are you doing? Where are you? So that it could be at least 50% realistic. So taking those two uh, areas of your life that you identified and the improvements that you want to make, and then taking that and breaking it down to steps and taking it from your mind and putting it on paper as to how can you break it down into action steps and goals so that you can uh, start working on what you really want. So in that book and in that class at the time, you end up with a plan, and you have to have it in the book. I encourage you to have at least two actions once you finish the book that you can take and use right away. For example, if you say, I want to go to college and get a bachelor's degree in something, as an example, it's taking what two steps. So when you identify that's just the smallest thing, okay, maybe it's calling the admissions office tomorrow. Maybe it's looking at, okay, what would I want to study? Just as an example. And maybe it's just calling or getting on the internet and figuring out what that information. And once you have that, it's breaking it down into more goals. And once you identify the goals, you start your actions. It's just, how do I add more goals? And the plan is, okay, you take those small goals all the way through to, how did I get close to getting that degree, for example? I mean, it could be anything in life. It could be becoming a singer. It could be anything. It's just I step you through goals, and also I teach you how to move the barriers that may be keeping you stuck, whether they're the thoughts in your head or whether they're physical barriers. So I give you strategies on how to move those things out the way, all the way through celebrating small successes. We don't have to wait until we complete a whole program or complete something before it is a success. It's the small successes along the way. So that's Jumpstart Your Life. I just got my book published, A Whole Life Nourished. And this book, I'm really, I just, it was just published a couple of weeks ago. It was a long process, but it has antidotes, it has strategies and tips on the environment, what environmental sustainability. I talk about veganism. I talk about physical health, holistic health. How can we take care of ourselves, be more mindful, not only of our mind and our bodies, but also of the planet. So it's a very, very exciting book. I have recipes. I have Instagram addresses for different ways of looking at, okay, what is vegan, what is plant-based, books and videos. So if you're interested in, and this supplements my podcast as well, because if you're interested in exploring what does a plant-based lifestyle look like, and what does holistic health have to do with it, then this book is what you want to read, because it gives you a deeper dive beyond the podcast episodes on how you can become more whole mentally, physically, and spiritually, aligned with a plant-based lifestyle.
All right, ma. Thank you so much, ma. And I want to go to the point of holistic wellness, ma. I would like to ask, in your own understanding, in your own like way of understanding it, what do you think holistic wellness is? And do you impact those wellness in your daily life, ma?
Okay, what my opinion of holistic wellness is, I call myself a whole living consultant, because the mind, the body, and the spirit is one. So if the mind is not aligned with the body, then the completion of what you're trying to do is just not going to work. So if you are depressed and you want to feel better physically, I mean, you have to break down those thoughts on why you can't be healthy, because you think about being healthy first, and what does that mean, and then you translate that to the body, meaning you might start exercising, you might start eating more healthy, eating cleaner, being intentional about what you think about, and what you eat, and even moving around. So you may start walking every day, because in your mind you said, I want to be healthy. And it's identifying what does that mean to you. So I bring together the mind, the body, and the spirit in all the work that I do, include my books, really. And in my life, um, this whole wellness holistic business has really helped keep a mirror in front of me. So when I talk about it all the time, I write about it, I teach my classes, it really keeps me integrated in that holistic energy. So I walk all the time, I do yoga. um, I do yoga now. I do yoga 5 days a week, 15 minutes a day. I mean, I've evolved from going to classes every for 4 days a week and all that. But now I've learned to give myself just what I need. I don't need a 90-minute class 4 days a week. I do 15 minutes in the morning. I walk at least an hour, maybe 3 days a week. Sometimes I substitute that with going to the gym, but I still walk. I may get on the treadmill. Um, I enjoy going to the West Coast in America, which allows me to see mountains and canyons, because where I live is kind of flat. But just doing things to get me out in nature, uh, being open to doing things that maybe I've never done before, but I really try to nurture my mind, my body, and my spirit on a regular basis. And everybody that I meet, everybody that I interview, maybe people that interview me, inspire me all the time to keep myself integrated. And on those days when I'm telling myself I don't want to do anything, sometimes it works, but I am so integrated in my mind, my body, and my spirit. Even if I tell myself those things, um, it's just a thought that I can move past, and get up and get out of the bed anyway and go to the gym or go for a walk. So
All right, thank you.
that's how I do that.
Thank you so much, ma. And I want to go to that mind, body, and spirit. That's the point I want to go. I want to ask, like, how do you try to, maintain what routine or what styles do you use to maintain those three things? That's the mind, body, and spirit, man.
Okay, so I spirit to me is inner tools. What's going on inside? Okay, so if I have a negative thought, for example, I mean, I check inside with myself. So if I'm feeling anger or if I'm feeling stress, what I could do now is, okay, what's going on here? And get silent and quiet about where in my gut I'm feeling nervous, checking in with all those feelings, checking in with those emotions inside, and really just being quiet. Sometimes I close my eyes so that I can, okay, where is this coming from? Because then you get the answer. Maybe I was a little upset about uh, somebody being late to an appointment, but I didn't recognize that until I got quiet and I closed my eyes. And then once I checked in with myself, and I've gotten that answer where this energy, I'll call it energy, is coming from, then I can let that go because I've identified, you know, where that energy is coming from. Sometimes, things happen to us in the outer world, right? And it's really, how do we respond to that? And then the next thing is, okay, is this something I can control? Is this about somebody doing something to me? No, it's my response to whatever happened, which is really, really important.
All right. Thank you so much, ma. I would like to ask, in terms of the holistic wellness, ma, what role do you think nutrition, be fruit or anything, what role do you think it plays in those areas, ma, too?
I didn't always look at nutrition.
Okay.
When I first started, I just looked at self care, time management, physical, what we were doing physically. But what I learned was food has everything to do with our lives. Everything. Almost everything starts with our plate. So if I'm eating a bunch of, um, let's say, not so healthy foods, and I'm not trying to create plant based followers, but what I've learned is staying as close to nature as possible. It's the way to health. And living here in America, where we have so much disease and obesity, and I look around at other countries, and we say we have abundance, we really do, but we have more deaths and a lot more disease. So really diving into why, you know, why is that happening? Being on top of how our food is made and where does it come from? It's very important because if I want my mind clear, it really matters what am I putting into my body? Because if my blood sugar is fluctuating up and down and my mood, I'm all moody because I need a sugar, I need a sugar fix or something. That is why I literally added the plant based. And not only that, I got so sick when I was younger from thinking I could just do my career, and thinking that was going to sustain me. I'm eating everything and anything. And then when I started getting digestive issues, high blood pressure, and I was really young, I literally felt that could get in the way of me being successful. Not from anything somebody did, but my health was really becoming a problem for me. It really was. So just learning what to do, and the initially the plant-based lifestyle, switching to plants allowed me to feel better, let my body heal from all the things that were going on, because I was literally headed for maybe a heart attack, stroke, diabetes, literally headed in that direction. So that allowed me to learn how to eat as close to nature as possible. Um, Stop the processed food. I mean, there's a whole lot of, but it was an evolution over many, many years. And the veganism came much later, because when I started plant based living and practicing and evolving, it had nothing to do with animals. It had nothing to do with animals. I was just trying to be healthy. But I guess when I was able to step back, I got this deep connection with animals, and I started seeing them in a different light. And that has propelled my life in ways that I just never knew. So, what I tell people is, when you have an open mind and you're really willing to look inside and want that health and live your life more intentional, nobody's perfect, intentional with what you put in your mouth, what you let come into your mind, and how you take care of yourself, it really matters. It really, really matters.
All right, thank you so much, ma. And that's normally just bring me to the point of this meditation stuff. Do you have any meditation that you can just clue of any meditation that you know that supports your health, ma?
Okay, for me, meditation can be sometimes when I'm working, or many times. It doesn't matter if I'm at home or if I'm at a client. I can take a few minutes and sit in a chair and get quiet, go in a quiet office, or come in a quiet room and close my eyes. Maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, and just relax. And you'd be surprised how much you let go. Sometimes just going for in the middle of a crazy day, sometimes just going for a walk outside can be a meditation and clear up the noise and the chaos. Especially right now, there's so much going on. It's just taking the time to get off of social media, just take some time off of social media, uh, all the social media, TV, and just sitting quiet with me and my thoughts. And I've gone to silent retreats as well over the years, where it for 3 or 4 days, just to you when I go, you can't talk, you cannot talk. And that is so amazing, because after about 3 days, when it's over and the noise comes pouring in, that is the feeling when initially, when the time is up, you can start talking, you go back to normal life. It's that the noise feels like it's pouring in. So I think it's good, no matter where you are, no matter who you are. You don't have to go to a big old meditation class. It's just sitting with yourself in silence. That's really what it is.
All right, ma. And thank you so much, ma. And I would like to ask if you've had any challenges during this your holistic wellness, ma.
Oh my goodness. Yes, yes, because sometimes, I have to be mindful when I get busy with my family, with life, with clients. I find myself having to reset my boundaries. Uh, like I just wrote this book, and I would let this being in this book just take hours and hours and forget that, you know what, I need to put this down and take care of myself, go for a walk, figure out, okay, eat some healthy food, and not forego any meals because I'm put myself on a deadline. I'm trying to stop doing that. where if you put yourself on a self-imposed deadline, I don't need to do that. I'm writing this book, So I had to learn. Sometimes I have to slow myself down and be more intentional. Sometimes I have to put things in my calendar that will take me away from my office, so that I can be with nature, be with friends, connect with people, um, and do things that make me happy and do things that bring me joy. So that is all intentional, and it's something that I and everyone else, we have to keep stay integrated in that kind of thing, because it's so easy to not do anything when you're busy with something at home. I mean, even with podcasts, it's it can be a lot of work and a lot of time. It takes a lot of time. So it's saying to yourself, okay, what's reasonable in terms of, like me, I like to do a bunch of interviews and then give myself a break. When I had my first podcast, I didn't do that and I burnt out. So it's just being intentional, not worrying about, oh, I have to have this much, and not comparing myself to anyone. And that's where the mind comes in. It's just taking my time and being easy on myself, and not being judgmental about what I'm trying to do. I think that's we all have to practice that sometimes.
All right, ma. Relate. Thank you so much, ma. And I would just like to ask if there is generally, if there's any advice you have in mind that you can give to the audience, ma.
What I can tell the audience is to not be hard on yourself when you want to make a change. When you want to make a change, you start with something really small, something doable. And you don't have to be in a certain place to get started. Start wherever you are. Wherever you are. It's just taking that first step.
All right, ma. And I would like to, there's a question I normally ask from the ancestors, from the forefathers. If there is anything you would like to bring back to our time today, what do you think that thing would be, ma?
What I would like to bring back to our time today is community. I would love to bring back community. That I think, especially in the states, that's missing a lot. With social media and it's bringing back that physical gathering, togetherness. That's what I would say.
All right, ma'am. Mr. Diane, I want to appreciate you for your time. I would like to ask, is your background from the United States? Because you sound like someone that is not from the, well, maybe I'm just, it's just the way I'm just hearing it.
I am from St. Louis, Missouri. I was born in the States and I live in Chicago.
Okay. All right. I
Yep.
want to appreciate you. Thank you so much, ma, for your time. I really appreciate. And thank you, Sha. I want to say thank you so much, ma.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, ma.
Bye.